I took a pretty decently long nap. So I hope I should be good now for when I have work tomorrow morning. This morning. Go to sleep. Dude, you do know that my sleep, I am awake from about, what, 5 p.m. to about 10 a.m. right now. That's my sleep schedule because of work. That's how it's going to be from here on out. Like, actually, it needs to be where I'm awake from 2 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's what it needs to be. Or 2 p.m. to at least like 5 p.m. Or 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. I actually took a nap that way. Hopefully it pushes when I go to sleep a bit further back today. So. Also, why are you awake then? Huh? So, like, I would normally be at work right now, but I don't work today, so. Yeah. That part's helpful. What? I can't hear. I can't hear the... Nice. Hold on. Let me... I haven't had to do this in a while. Accessibility, sound mixer, sound, more, recording, Elgato, listen, off, okay, oh, no. Listen, off, apply. There we go. I got a job offer where I work. No fucking shit. I got a job offer where I work. I'm screenshotting that. Hold on. Got a job offer where I work. It's funny. I don't know what round I'm on, honestly. I forgot. Let me also... I'm on 96. Wait, really? So oh my goodness. I have back-to-back insta-kill rounds coming up then. Nice. So if I get lucky, it is only 1, 2, 3, 4. If I get lucky, I only have to play 4 more normal rounds this game. Unlucky, I think it's 6. No, it's 5. I don't know. I hope I don't crash in these last few hours now. That would be unfortunate. I'm dying to listen to that choice right now. I have in my head what the montage is going to look like at almost every single part of it now. And it would look so cool. Also, just in general. The limit was never the goal, no. Inevitable was the fall, you know. You're not out here alone, though. Just know this isn't over.
times this will pass. Just be nice to yourself, like yeah. I know that this got out of hand. We can't do shit, so just relax. Yeah, there you are.
Thank you, dog. That was behind me.
On the table, telling how this is more than you'll take. Under the weight of the day, or in the midst of a crisis of faith.
Oh.
You've abandoned attempts at controlling. Lash out at somebody who's safe, requiring more than consoling. Hard times are the tempo these days. You know there's no way that it's all part of a plan. Can't stop it all, shit kinda just happens like that. But when surviving the day seems like an impossible task, if you need a friend, you need only ask. Like all the other times, this will pass. Just be nice to yourself, like yeah. I know that this got out of hand, but we can't do shit, so just relax. Yeah, well, the worst is it's not only you though. Everybody I know is being cut down. It's a sign of the times we're subdued. Oh, all the world with no space to be found. But even if the world is like ending, probably we won't change it right now. So I guess there's no use in pretending. I feel fine and don't have the same doubt. So how should we proceed? What is it that we need? What was taken from me? And why can't I name it now? They stolen what once was free to sell it back for a fee. Guess I should let it be, but I have a hard time letting go. And I feel it's fair just to let you know. It hurts less to forgive what you can't control. Sometimes that feels like a lot to ask. But like all the other times, this will pass. Just be nice to yourself, like yeah. I know that this got out of hand, but we can't do shit, so just relax. The limit was never the goal, no. Inevitable was to fall, no. You're not out here alone, no. Just know this isn't over. Just dropped in from the daydream. You know I always gotta cause a big scene. Gotta make everything about me. I've been like this since I was like 13. So let me bend your ears while I got them. What is it you're really trying to run from? I guess that's the thing about problems. While you ignore them, then you ain't got none. Oh, what a wonderful way to live. Cold, magnifying the things I did. I know something has got to give. I wait for the veil to lift. And oh, I'm feeling that choice in the way. I'm feeding that void every day. I'm screaming your voice in my brain. It's more than I can take, and oh, I'm feeling that choice in the way. The little blockade in my brain. Whatever comes next, I pray. It isn't more than I can take, yeah. Always late to
Okay.
the party, so everybody might look upon me. Show them something better than I might be. Force feed them narrative, sell them what they wanna see. Wait, maybe that's the
Pew
way
pew,
that the
pew pew
walls
pew,
are.
and throw snowballs. Oh. Apply to a few jobs. I thought you had a job, you said.
than a breeze, so long as I kept the front up. Hey, don't make me reflect on things.
I did that way early. Yeah. But hooray! You know what? I'm hating. It's good. That's a good thing. I'm gonna get a real job with it blurred out. Nice. Dude, my chaining sucks.
The person inside underwhelms me.
I do suck at chaining right now. You're right.
Entirely. A person who's better than me at everything.
I gotta get like warmed up, kinda.
Other guy instead of me. It's funny how it took so long to realize.
But also, it's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I only have 4 more rounds of this, hopefully the entire rest of the game. So, I only gotta do this for like a total of 4 more hours. It's time for going for another snowball run. I had one last round, so. Yeah, my dog round was the. This is loud. Hold on. Yeah, my dog round was last round, so I'm fine now. My next dog round is either 100 or 101, and that will be the last dog round that actually matters this game, pretty much. Round 100 could be a dog round. Round 101 could be a dog round, but round 100 is an insta-kill round. So I'm really hoping I get 101 dogs. I can't wait to make the montage of this part of the song. It'll actually be the most peak thing I've ever made in my life.
I don't know. I'm feeling that choice in the way. I'm feeding that void every day. I'm screaming your voice in my brain.
Okay, one of them's a pusher. Other frozen rounds? Not than what we know already. The only reason frozen rounds exist on this map is because of the ice water. And it's a special property. I think Call of the Dead actually has the same thing. Any zombies that are below 40% health in the ice water, I think, will start taking like a tick damage and eventually die out and like get killed. And since their health is already in the negatives on insta-kill rounds, something, I guess, happens. I have no idea. It's a special thing, just, it's the ice, I don't know. It does something unique to it, though. But I think it's just I think those rounds in particular are just unique though, because like the magma gat also does something weird on on similar rounds on Blood of the Dead. Like it'll be an insta kill on those rounds, which is super weird. There we go. Yay, 101. Look at that. Only 99 more hours left in this 100-hour segment. That's good. Already making progress. Some kind of knowledge.
Maybe the headwinds from acceleration, and all I need's determination to hold my bearing and keep it bold. There's still so many problems I should solve, so I'll be rushing towards some horizon or something I could keep my eyes on. There's some way I could reach my prize, even though I still just don't know. I'm gonna keep moving on. Soon as I let go, feel the bad times coming on, and I just don't know.
I can't see.
I'm gonna keep moving on. Soon as I let go, feel the bad times coming on, coming on, coming on. Lights out on a long day. Goodbye to an old way. Right now it's a big change. With time that'll all fade. It's the truth. I don't care anymore. No surprise, just a door to be closed. And I guess we gotta go our separate ways. And my feelings
Okay.
like it's a shame I'll never really get to say
Wow.
I told you so. Can't tell when the switch flips. Friction into blisters. I swell to a break point. Constriction was your first choice, and the feeling is smothering me. And you look like you're holding your tongue. Good riddance. Too bad news, my dear. 'Cause I guess we gotta go our separate ways.
Oh, okay.
And my feelings like it's a shame I'll never really get to say I told you so.
We all love Nina Girachi. Well, let's do it. never mind. Take that back.
I don't mind, cause this is something that I have to find. I just don't know what.
Oh. I need some YouTube. That's what I think I need. No, 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 no.
Even though you're not funny, you don't make your family laugh at the dinner table. I know you don't. What do you tell them? Yeah, I'm just a f***ing peanut. I have a...
You literally said the N-word multiple times. I don't know why saying a word means anything, but okay. I did not choose this peanut life. I got turned into one by the burnt peanut.
Hey everybody, CP here, the Cool Potato. Just wanted to show off the new streamer persona.
Okay, alright, no, that last one, like, that one's... The Cool Potato. That's obviously... Dude, okay, let's be real now. That's obviously a joke. Like... This guy's not trying to be a burnt peanut clone. Let's use our critical thinking skills. We'll put on our thinking caps, why don't we?
Oh.
So streaming has become quite popular, especially since 2020, where it saw a huge spike in attention, probably due to things like COVID, where we were all forced inside, and for many in education at the time, you had to put up with makeshift and quickly put together online classes that I'm pretty sure nobody learned a single thing in.
I'm not a child, Heidi. I'm a grown man.
Yo, Randy, you bald as shit.
We've been hacked.
But for many people around that time, especially when the lockdowns had just started, you had to find things to do, which for some turned into learning skills like coding, cooking, painting, and maybe learning how to properly exercise. Or for some it meant playing the same games over and over till you eventually become fatigued with games in general, and even though you had all this free time now, you just couldn't bring yourself to play a game for even 15 minutes before getting bored, closing the game, and staring blankly at the screen.
That's, like,
but watching
universal.
someone else play the exact same game was a different thing entirely. Streaming around this time was already rising in popularity due to key streamers like Ninja,
Had shockwaves after he railed me like that from behind. After he shot on my back. After he came from behind.
but now with everyone inside, streaming exploded. We had things like the Among Us craze, a rise in Minecraft viewership due to things like the Dream SMP, where we saw a different breed of parasocial viewer. We even saw the appearance of more things like VTubers. But one of the results of COVID, apart from it apparently messing with the fabric of time, where it feels like time is going way too fast now, but another effect was that streaming got more popular. More people tried doing it and more people got into it. It became mainstream, and even after COVID ended, it only became more popular, which has led to the streamers themselves being looked at more like celebrities. I mean, even celebrities themselves have tried to, in one way or another, enter the streaming space.
We could be taking questions right now. TikTok, you got any questions for me? What am I saying? I'm saying, please come to Peru. You ate. Appreciate that. Love you, Brunito. When you come into my house, all right, maybe this questions thing wasn't a good idea.
But with streaming blowing up, it has come with a number of negative aspects as well. Hate watching is one of them, where people watch you for the sole purpose of preying on your downfall.
Who wants some? You want this? Come get it! Get a job, Dale.
Get a job.
Why do you guys keep doing this?
Audience fatigue is a new one,
Pay
especially
child
if you
support,
blow
Dale.
up quite fast and your content is everywhere. People will get tired of seeing you and start to hate you. The only person I've seen that is completely immune to this is Queso. I have not seen an ounce of hate for him except his chat saying he's the descendant of a prehistoric megalodon, which is one of the many ways they call him fat. There's also a problem with clones, where especially if you get popular for a specific thing or niche, some may attempt to copy you or what you're known for to reap the same benefits. And all of which I just briefly described probably applies tenfold to the streamer I'm going to be speaking about today. A streamer that at their peak took over the internet to the point where people of all ages were watching him. A streamer that with each stream would get over 100,000 concurrent
even know who
viewers,
the burnt
and a
peanut
streamer
was,
that
man.
is quite literally a burnt carbohydrate. The burnt peanut.
There's a new one though. For some reason, a bunch of Dr. Disrespect Champion Club members have been coming in. They think since I'm big now, I'm encroaching on his territory or something. It's like I'm on Arc Raiders, not the playground.
Now, if you don't know who the
Oh
burnt
my
peanut
gosh.
is, he started streaming all the way
I'm
back
on Arc
in
Raiders, not the
2022.
playground, that's
And when he
vile.
started, he wasn't a peanut. He was an actual person, a fleshy, if you will. But it's important to note that almost all records of these past streams when he wasn't the peanut has been scrubbed from the internet to the point where you can only find singular frames of those streams. But back then he mainly streamed Escape from Tarkov, the game you only play if you have a gambling addiction or you're a masochist and hate yourself.
I can do it. What is it? Ready? I'm gonna fight for that. Ready? For the team, boys. My gunshot!
Or, more commonly, you're a hacker. When he began streaming, he was still working a full-time job at a call center for scheduling, with the main thing being scheduled, according to him, being cat waxing. But it was the cat usually most of you definitely aren't used to seeing, if you catch my drift. But when he started, he would stream regularly for around 5 months before giving it up, and he would only return a year later after a friend persuaded him to start streaming again. And after one of his first streams back, he noticed his name was Burnt Peanut. So for his next stream, he became a peanut, and the rest from there is seemingly history. He still played Tarkov, but now as a peanut, and he began streaming more regularly with usually a daily stream that ranged from 2 to 6 hours depending on the day. He also began taking his clips from his stream and posting them to places like YouTube, which assisted in slowly building up his following.
I'm about to show you the power of the Windingulator, the most powerful weapon in all of Tarkov, but do not share it with anyone.
Adamantium.
Oh my god.
I got him.
By the end of 2024, he was averaging over 1,000 concurrent viewers, and it would only go up from there at the start of the next year. However, he was still streaming Tarkov, which people didn't really mind. Most were there for his personality at that point.
Almost there, I know, right? Yeah.
Fucking camping little bitch pussy.
Got your little boyfriend.
Boyfriend. I know, right? Dude, we listened to when we hit 100 hours. It was like the best thing ever I've ever seen. Yeah. Well, okay. My entire sleep schedule has been flipped pretty much. I'm awake from usually it's like 5 p.m. to about 10 a.m. the next morning because of work. But you know, because I go to work from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. now, which so. Hooray! Yeah! Wow! Oh my gosh! It's so much fun. I love waking up. You know, it's actually really good. It's fun. I enjoy it. That would do it. Yeah, that would do it. I actually need to even furthermore fix my sleep schedule because at the current moment, I have to attend labs at school. So I'm sleeping from like 10 a.m. to about 5 p.m. All of my schoolwork takes place in between that time. I'm on spring break right now. I have 3 days to fix this sleep schedule and get it somewhat good. So, we'll see. I go to work later today here. I say today, tomorrow. Today, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we'll see how that goes. So that'll force me to stay awake, which hopefully should help. So. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with this though. I got 10 more rounds. 10 more fun rounds of hip hip and hoorays. We'll see.
Yeah, he's a fucking Timmy, you little.
And you're next. Yeah!
My next dog run's also on either 100 or 101. So, best case scenario, I get 101 dogs, and I only have to play 4 more of these rounds here. 3 after this one. It'll be exciting. It'll be so much fun. I'm burning up right now, though. Oh my gosh. It's hot in here. Come on, game.
And things like his peanut avatar constantly changing, the animations he played before he went into each raid, animations which were made by his brother, and the fact there was never truly a dull moment in his streams was why a lot of people kept watching him.
Love you, nut. Peanut's middle is the perfect place for my froggy penis. I want to wear them like a condom and feel that sweet, sweet ass pucker.
And all of this would later be a hallmark of his content. By August of 2025, he was averaging over 10,000 viewers, which put him at the top percentile of streamers, but his viewership would soon skyrocket in November of the same year, which was partially due to the launch of a game called Ark Raiders. A game that was initially thought to be just another extraction shooter trying to copy Tarkov, and a game that 3 years ago was supposed to be a completely different game. But despite what people thought before it launched, it was somewhat of an instant success when it finally released, both with a lot of people playing it and watching it. Peanut began streaming it on release, and quickly he not only became the face of the game, but the face of streaming for quite a while.
Wait, they're saying running dive through.
Oh fuck.
At this point, you could not escape Peanut. He had broken outside the ARC Raiders category and become mainstream. Every
I've never
platform
heard
you've
of
had a
him.
clip of his stream or a clip of someone talking about his stream. But with that many eyes on you, it almost becomes impossible to avoid controversy.
Here's the thing, like, I literally have never heard about this guy until the Streamer Awards. So, you know.
Either by people clipping you out of context, or even some people going all the way back before you blew up and sharing a clip of you saying a slur.
I would get QD OLED. Oh my god, dude, what is it? What is up with this fat man?
Yep.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. God damn it.
He even got into a controversy for being nominated and winning the VTuber of the Year award, which pissed a lot of people off because they don't think he's a VTuber. I mean, he even thinks he's not a VTuber, he classifies himself as a PTuber, and after facing all of this backlash, he immediately started making jokes at the expense of the people that were mad at him.
That's a VTuber right there. Listen up, 40-year-old man in a 15-year-old anime 2D VTubing suit.
But if we were honest, it was the Streamer Awards, the event that most criticised for their theory it's just an award show for the friends of the people that host it, and the event where there's backlash each year for the nominations and award winners anyway. Like, it happens every year. But apart from people digging things up from his past, apart from his classifications as a VTuber or a PTuber, and apart from his controversies, there's already a few problems that have surrounded him, and it's only gotten worse as he's gotten bigger. And it's to the point now where it's widespread and more apparent than ever. And you could say it's at the level now where it's directly affecting the reputation of Peanut. But what are these problems?
Ooh, let's fart on him. Well, sniff it.
I'm not gonna lie, I love transitions and videos that, like, play the most depraved audio over, like, the title card. Those are the best. Those are actually the best.
So as I said, when creators blow up, especially for a specific reason, it's natural to see others witness this attention and attempt to recreate it to potentially get a portion of the limelight. This can
Obviously,
range
yeah.
from playing the same game to doing the same content to, at worst, attempting to replicate the personality of the original content creator.
You really think I'm queso? You really think I'm queso?
And Peanut is no different from this trend. Actually, in his case, it's much worse. Probably because he's formatted in the way he is. He's simply a peanut with a filter that captures his mouth and eyes, projected onto the 3D Peanut model. Before Peanut blew up, there was little to nobody with the same format. Ironically, the closest relative to his format he had at the time was actually VTubers. And I know by simply just making that comparison may result in some fans having an aneurysm, but when he did eventually blow up, it essentially became a gold rush overnight. Hundreds of other streamers would adopt an inanimate object with their face displayed on top of it, which ranged from things like other edible items to items of clothing to random objects to even organs. I have a feeling we are soon going to see a Peanut clone in the form of a puckered anus that was locally sourced. That would actually be impressive, probably because you'll be instantaneously banned, but then again, if you're streaming on Twitch, knowing them, you might be fine. There was also a rise in tutorials walking you through how to make your own burnt peanut avatar, which only made it more widespread. Now, these streamers obviously knew what they were doing.
I'm not trying to copy Burn Peanut. I say I'm different from the peanuts. I say
A lot of these new streamers would begin being called peanut clones, and I've yet to see one that has successfully pulled this off and managed to gather an audience that doesn't associate them with Peanut. But are we seeing a trend like VTubers where one person inspires many others to the point where it becomes its own genre? No. As said, I don't see any of these new streamers doing anything unique, and none have accomplished the goal of branching away from the peanut stereotype. I mean, we had the annoying orange do this shit like 10 years ago, and I don't think there were any successful copies around that time, but hey, I could be wrong. Maybe a disheveled filled condom will be streamer of the year around this time next year. Even Peanut has picked up on people doing this, and he doesn't really seem to have a problem with it.
I mean, are they? I don't know. I mean, are they kind of hopping on the floor a little bit? Sure, but you know what I mean. It's like whatever. It's like whatever. I mean, I didn't invent the peanut. I didn't. You know what I'm about? They can do whatever they want. They can, you know what I mean? But follow your dreams. That's what I say. That's what I say.
However, even though there are a lot of these clones, currently there is one that stands above the rest. The ultimate Peanut clone, and that is the Faithful Sheriff.
Ooh, let's start on him.
Okay.
Well, sniff
Now,
it.
what's insane is I have seen this guy more than I've seen more of this guy's clips than I have ever seen clips about the burnt peanut himself. That's like the wild part. I have never seen the burnt peanut clips a day in my life until like, you know, this guy.
Bro.
We got him.
He is the very definition of a peanut clone. He is what appears to be the inbred variant of the burnt peanut. He even has lore that relates to the burnt peanut. Where the story goes, he was turned into a peanut because he disrespected Peanut's friend, Gingy, which outside of the peanut he did actually do. He made a whole video saying she was boring, and apparently they saw that video and responded to it. But in the lore, after seeing Gingy disrespected, the burnt peanut would respond by using his peanut wizard powers to turn this guy into a peanut. That is his lore.
You know what you mean?
Yeah, he turned me into a peanut, actually. That's why I'm a peanut. He turned me into one. He's my he's my arch nemesis.
But this isn't the first time the Faithful Sheriff has done something like this, because he was previously known before his rebrand as Dr. Witnesser, or as most people—
No way. Wait, no. Those are the same people? Dude, that's like that one thing from Despicable Me, like seeing El Macho and like change it at one in that one gif, like that one gif. Oh my goodness, I can't believe
People called him Dr. Chud. And if it wasn't obvious, this was his attempt in trying to be a clone of Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Witnesser, thank you for the $10, Doc. I'm 20 minutes deep in some spice, hot, acidic, goosebump-driven diarrhea, and I ran out of toilet paper. I'm install 102 in the arena. Can you send Alex in to toss me a roll? Alex is not here today. You're in shit out of luck.
Bro, that was so worth it.
He was quite infamously known around this time for one, constantly saying slurs.
So, back in the day of the 1910 and 1800s, people would refer to black individuals as niggers.
He was also known as the guy who told an 8-year-old child that Santa wasn't real.
People were saying that Santa Claus isn't real, that your parents just bring you the presents.
Yeah, that's actually true, unfortunately. And that's another lie, and that people do spread. I don't teach my kids about Santa Claus because it's not real, and I don't lie to my kids.
He was also known to be heavily religious, and if you had a mic on in his Fortnite lobby, he would try and convert you to some form of Christianity. Even if you have a different religion or you're a child, he will still try and convert you.
Xbox.
Nice.
I'm playing PS4 right now, but I'm gonna play on Xbox.
Cool.
Yes.
So, listen, I go into games and I teach people about the Bible.
Yeah.
About the afterlife.
You know how much that Xbox cost?
What?
You know how much that Xbox cost?
I think he was most known for trying to convert a child and telling them if they don't convert, they will go to hell when they die or something. But obviously, with his reputation in the toilet as Dr. Witnesser, he would move on to greener pastures, which was doing the exact same thing he was doing before, but now as a peanut.
So, do you believe in Jesus? Or did college teach you out of Jesus? 'Cause that's what
Nah.
they do.
And for some reason, he has a bit where he loves being a bit gassy, and he will regularly unload on stream.
Good morning, everybody. It's the Faithful Sheriff, and today we're going into Fortnite and telling everybody about the good Lord. Everyone.
Oh my gosh, my man Savarino, whatever, who made it onto the video.
Welcome. If you're nice and all that.
Do not tell Pyrocynical about this streamer. Now, obviously, he could not outrun his past, and with him doing the same thing he did with Dr. Disrespect, now with the Burnt Peanut, he quickly became one of the most hated Peanut clones, because at least all the other clones did their own thing. They never tried to be a carbon copy, and they never begged for attention from Peanut.
Here's the deal. If you get the Burnt Peanut to respond to this video by saying, I released you of your peanut bombs, you get your witnesser back.
But because people hated him so much, it has led to a number of things happening. First, someone sent him a fake cease and desist letter, which was said to be from Peanut, which made him promptly end stream because he thought he was going to get sued by Peanut. The second thing was that people started circulating fake rumors about him. Someone photoshopped a cock on his Peanut, which was something that happened to the original Peanut, and they made it look like he was requesting this just so he could be like Peanut, and he denies it.
I never said this. I never even knew that these guys existed prior to yesterday when this post came out. Here's a picture of my real Venus that you can use. Obviously, this is not me. Y'all have seen me. This person probably weighs about 170. I'm 300 pounds.
People also raided his Discord day one and circulated some rumors there. And third, they have doxed him whilst he was live multiple times. In one event, reading out his full social security number, and in another, a person in a game with him calls him out for not living in Texas and LARPing that he does, and then they proceed to read out his current address, which, understandably, results in a reaction of him looking at the camera like he had just witnessed a second Hiroshima.
I can argue.
Like how you lied about being from Texas when you live at...
I don't live there, buddy.
Really? Because your wife does.
You can actually find a lot of hate posts about him just showing his address, which is fucked up because he has a wife and kids and you are potentially putting him and his family in danger doing this. You shouldn't do this. But from the outside, with all of this happening, it has not hindered his activity at all. He seems to have more viewership than ever since he became the Faithful Sheriff, but obviously it has somewhat affected the Burnt Peanut brand and potentially added to the next problem Peanut has been facing.
Mr. Silly! A little bit of goo. A little bit of goo. Wow, I'm such a chud.
Now the last problem is something I mentioned at the start of the video, which is when you get as big as Peanut and you are basically everywhere on most platforms. I think even I've been barraged by Peanut clips on my beloved Instagram Reels. And although it's probably not just Peanut himself posting all over these platforms, it's also his audience. But regardless, it still leads to the same result, which is that people get quickly tired of seeing you and in some cases just start to hate you. But for the Burnt Peanut in this case, it's probably the fastest I've ever seen this happen because he only blew up like 4 to 5 months ago, and already both him, his audience, and even his catchphrases have been designated as cringe. Currently, it's looking like the reputation of being a Burnt Peanut fan is probably on the same levels as being a Has-Been Hotel fan.
No.
I'm gooping it. I'm gooping it.
Not even close. No. That's not even true. That's not even close to being true. No iota of truth there. Being a Has-Been Hotel fan will always be infinitely more cringe than being any like VTuber fan. Not even like I actually watched the Has-Been Hotel and all that stuff as well. It's not I enjoyed it, but I don't go around actively saying I watch it, mainly because of the whole thing associated with it, the reputation. It's not worth it, man. It's just not worth it.
Best part. This is the best part. Just wait. Hate
for Mr. Nut is so forced because how can you hate him? He's just a silly little guy. Mr. Silly.
That's band kid humor at that point. I hear the dog running after me and I hate it. The Amaran number 3. So.
A little bit of goop.
It's even got to the point where people act like the burnt peanut had beheaded each of their family members in front of them with how mad they are when it comes to talking about him.
The burnt peanut has no choice but to rely on an AI avatar to pull viewers in. Why exactly? This is one of the most brutal and classic example of the BP. If he were to show his face on stream, he would get 0 viewers because his Phillytron is way too short.
Even though you're not funny, you don't make your family laugh at the dinner table. I know you don't. What do you tell them? Yeah, I'm just a fucking peanut. I have a peanut mascot on, and I'll turn to the side and open.
Here's the thing, this guy's got so much money though from streaming. Like, oh no, this guy online is making fun of me. Oh, let me just go get in my like a Mercedes Benz or something and just drive to a 5-star, 3-star Michelin, whatever, place to go eat. Oh man, my life sucks. I have so much money. I'll never have to be financially worried in my life ever again. Oh, this guy online.
From my mouth, the kids love it saying that, nigga. You are lame.
This seems to have been a thing that only recently happened because some people are confused how he went from generally loved to now widely hated. Some have blamed it on the fans on the older side of his audience, more accurately the millennials, citing the videos of them unironically repeating some of his catchphrases. But come on, millennials got completely fucked when it came to the housing market. Let them have their fun. But was it down to the fans of the burnt peanut that he's now considered cringe? I don't necessarily think so. Yes, there are a few posts I've seen that may have contributed to it, and I don't think it's down to the behaviour of the burnt peanut himself. He's been doing the same thing he always does. He hasn't really changed enough from what I've seen to warrant this shift. I think it's just the internet being the internet and the combination of blowing up so fast and being everywhere to the point where it gets somewhat annoying to people. Or you don't hold the same value than you did previously because you're mainstream now. And it's to the point where maybe your grandma is even saying things like she's gooping it, quoting him directly. So I guess it's not as cool as when he was more of a niche streamer. But yeah, it's quickly shifted from the burnt peanut being widely praised to now people expressing how they're tired of seeing him and his audience.
I'm a motherfucking gooner goy. I'm a dreamer goy. I love a Floyd that don't even fucking need a goy. Baby, I'm a gooner goy.
So
what do those words even mean? Dude, your character has an arm on them. The oversaturation of storytime animation.
Hey guys, one day I was at school and I got bullied. And
Me when I step on the Lego.
I have a hole in my shoe.
Storytime animations. Between 2015 and 2019, these channels were absolutely everywhere. The 2010s overall were a rough time for animation channels because back around 2013, YouTube
I
made
still don't get that I have a hole in my shoe.
animations.
The Lego.
I have a hole in my shoe.
Storytime animations.
I still don't
Between
get that.
2015
I do not understand that I have a hole in my shoe. I'm literally too old. Oh. Epstein 2.0 worse than Hitler? Huh? Pedophile? He's transphobic? What?
World Generation itself is based on Minecraft Beta, so you still get those large cliffs and classic terrain shapes from the old days. There were also no other dimensions, just the overworld. Interestingly though, the code already supports dimensions. But we'll get back to that later. Just like the finite world type in Bedrock 014, you can actually walk on top of the world. The empty space outside the map is filled with invisible bedrock blocks, which still exist in the game today. They behave like barrier blocks in Java, and were probably an early predecessor to them. The crafting menu also looks completely different. It has nothing in common with either Java Edition or the legacy console versions. Instead, it's entirely optimized for touch controls. There's also a full screen armor panel, which feels very strange compared to modern versions. You can also find the Stonecutter in this version. Originally it was a Pocket Edition exclusive block before eventually making its way into Java. Even here it works very similarly to the modern one, letting you craft slabs, stairs and various stone blocks. Overall the game is surprisingly playable for what it is. Feature-wise I'd probably compare it to something like Java in-depth, just with caves completely disabled, which is easily the biggest problem in my opinion. Without caves the world feels kind of empty. Here are all the blocks available in this version. And as you can see, the selection is pretty limited compared to what Java already had at the time. Entities are also present. They spawn randomly around the world, much like in older Java versions. But interestingly, they already use the modern AI, so they don't constantly jump around like they did in early Java. Some other pretty important mechanics are missing though. For example, buckets don't exist, which means you can't manipulate water at all. Combined with the lack of caves, this is probably the biggest thing hurting the playability of this version. Of course, all of these limitations were necessary for the game to run on mobile phones back in 2011. And back then the average smartphone had a slow single-core CPU, comparable to what you might find in a microcontroller today, along with only just about 512 MB of RAM. So the game had to be heavily simplified just to run at all. But now I'm going to switch over to my modded client, which will make testing much easier, and let us explore what this version of Minecraft is actually capable of behind the scenes. Judging by the actual release build, you might think Pocket Edition is some kind of strange half-finished port. But what if I told you that Pocket Edition is basically a one-to-one translation of Java Minecraft into C++, and behind the scenes it's actually a fully fledged game, with a lot of features that are just disabled. Compared to the Legacy Console Edition, which everyone is praising lately, the game here doesn't rely on console wrappers or platform layers to make it run on specific hardware. Everything is implemented natively. In fact, I wouldn't be even surprised if the codebase was used as a starting point for a Legacy Console port. Let's start with the limited world size. The game actually contains the full world generator from the Java beta days, meaning it is perfectly capable of generating infinite worlds. The small world size was simply enforced by the developers, because of the extremely limited mobile hardware at the time. So what happens if we remove that limit? Well, the result is infinite worlds. The only problem is that the original save format wasn't designed for dynamically loading and unloading chunks. Because of that, saving has to be disabled, unless the entire system is rewritten, which is still the MC region, the same as in beta Minecraft. However, it was rewritten to just save a single region. But other than that, world generation works perfectly. Caves and grass were also simply disabled, so restoring them was trivial. At this point the game becomes almost identical to something like Java Beta 1.7.3. The terrain generator is the same, the biome system is the same, even the overall terrain shapes are nearly identical. The engine also already contains support for dimensions, which means it's actually quite easy to restore things like the Nether, and even at the end. I've also restored the F3 debug menu, so you will be able to track my coordinates during the tests. So why were all these features disabled in the first place? The reason is pretty simple. The game needed to run on early smartphones. Every extra system like caves, decorations and world streaming adds computational cost. And it adds up very quickly. And let's not forget how little space phones had back in the day. You can't have a game generate infinite worlds and use up the little space you had. So a lot of these features were temporarily disabled, just to make the game playable on mobile hardware. Over the years, as phones became more powerful, those systems were gradually restored, and expanded into what would eventually become Modern Bedrock Edition. But now that we've removed those limitations, we can finally start pushing this early version of Minecraft much further than it was ever meant to go, as well as see how they would look like in Java, without going into the trouble of rewriting something like Beta 1.7.3 to be fully 64-bit, or downgrade to using floats. So let's see how far this C++ port of Minecraft can actually go. Our first stop is at 8,192 blocks from spawn. Even this close to the origin, the game already starts to break, although it's very subtle at first. If you stop moving and look carefully, you can notice small shaking in the terrain, and tiny gaps appearing between blocks. And this will only get worse with every power of 2. At 524,000 blocks, terrain generation starts to behave strangely. It seems like it is getting reset. Something we observed back in InfDev. Movement also becomes noticeably harder, and the game becomes much more prone to crashing past this point. My best guess for the cause of this is somewhere in the code a signed short integer is being used, because this number divided by 16 just happens to match the signed short limit. At around 1 million blocks the exact same thing happens again. At 4.1 million blocks things get much worse. Past this point normal movement basically stops working. You can no longer cross the minimum value of a floating point number using normal walking speed. At 8.3 million blocks the world is no longer solid. Terrain features like caves and lakes become visibly broken. Instead of natural shapes they start looking rounded and flattened, as if the terrain generator is losing precision. Interestingly, water is still solid, so you can at least stand on it without falling through the world, the same as in EveDev. Because the game uses almost the same exact rendering logic as Java, we are seeing the same floating point precision issues that existed in early Java versions, like EveDev 2010 or 2.27, back when Java was also using floats for rendering. Since this version uses the classic beta world generator, we eventually reach the Farlands at around 12 million blocks, but here they behave a little differently than in Java. They generate in a distorted way. Instead of the giant solid wall seen in Java, terrain starts generating floating blocks above empty water chunks on the z-axis, while the x-axis produces only empty terrain. Even the corner Farlands behave differently. The reason for this is surprisingly simple. In Pocket Edition the noise generator uses floats instead of doubles. The generator itself is otherwise identical. If you look closely at the terrain, the overall Farland shape is actually the same as in Java. The lines and structures are all there. The difference is that once you pass 16.7 million blocks, floats can no longer represent every integer coordinate. Because of that, the generator effectively skips positions in the noise field, causing terrain to generate every other block, instead of forming the solid walls seen in Java. Interestingly, on real phones the Farlands can actually appear normally for a short distance before breaking apart. This likely happens because some mobile CPUs perform floating point calculations internally with slightly higher precision. For a few hundred blocks the generator still has enough precision to generate the normal Farland structure, but as the coordinates grow larger the limits of 32-bit floats eventually take over, and the terrain starts collapsing into these broken patterns. So the Farlands in Pocket Edition aren't actually different. They're the same terrain artifact, just distorted by floating point precision limits. At this distance I also tried activating the nether reactor block. Unfortunately I couldn't even build the structure here. Back at around 2 million blocks I did manage to activate it, but the game immediately crashed. So it seems that using nether reactors in an infinite world isn't really possible. Normally the reactor spawns a small pocket nether biome, drops a bunch of items that don't normally generate in this version, and spawns hostile pigment. As for why there isn't an actual nether dimension in this version, the answer is probably the same as before: memory limitations. The entire framework for dimensions already exists in the code. At 16.7 million blocks we finally reach our favorite glitch, the stripe lands. This time they come with the added bonus of entire chunks dancing around the screen. Because this number is also a power of 2, terrain briefly generates again near the corners. So if you ever wondered whether the stripe lands exist in Java, this is basically your answer. This version uses the exact same rendering logic as Java Beta. If Java had used floats for rendering, this is exactly what you would see. The reason for the stripes is the same as before. Floats can no longer represent every integer coordinate, which creates gaps in the terrain that grow larger with every power of 2. It's actually kind of amazing that this glitch has survived all the way into the latest versions of Bedrock. Almost everything else about the engine has changed over the years, but the fundamental world limits are still the same 14 years later. Meanwhile, Java has changed its limits 5 different times in that same period. At 33.5 million, floats lose even more precision. At this point they can no longer represent changes of 2 units. The result is that terrain stops rendering entirely near the corners, while along the edges we start seeing strange 2D terrain slices. Movement here is pretty much impossible without a massive speed boost. At 67.1 million blocks the world becomes completely broken. Only a few scattered water blocks render, and that's about it. To see anything beyond this point we have to move along a single axis. And here we find one of the creepiest sights in the entire game, 2-dimensional Farlands with normal terrain mixed in between them. This place is completely insane. Imagine being able to walk around here normally, with proper collision and movement. Maybe an idea for another video. Because of the earlier floating point issues, movement here is even harder. But thanks to those same bugs we can still see patches of normal terrain generating in between the stripes. This is actually very similar to a bug we saw earlier in EveDev, where the Farlands temporarily stopped generating before starting again further out. The same thing is happening here, just at smaller intervals, because floats break much earlier than doubles. Every new power of 2 simply increases the distance between the terrain stripes. If you want to see how this actually looks, the stripe lines along the z-axis are a good example. Here, the gap between terrain lines is only 1 block wide, making it easier to see how this actually looks. At larger powers of 2 the exact same thing happens, the difference is the gaps simply become wider and wider. And finally we reach 1 billion blocks from spawn. This is about as close as we can get to the 32-bit integer limit without crashing the game. Beyond this point everything behaves the same up until 2.1 billion blocks, where the integer limit finally breaks completely. Rendering here is almost impossible to describe. Chunks randomly appear and disappear across the screen. Liquids are stretched and terrain is almost unrecognizable. Somehow we can still place and break blocks, which is honestly impressive. Movement along the z-axis is basically impossible without extreme speed, but movement along the x and y-axis still works. And with that we've reached the final limit of this version, and the limits of Bedrock Edition in general. The only real difference in modern versions is the terrain generator itself. Since the Farlands were removed, terrain generation is now stable, but the rendering limits still break in almost exactly the same way, even 14 years later. Overall, Bedrock Edition is actually much closer to Java than people often assume. Under the hood it's essentially the same game translated into another.
Okay. Yay, round's over. Another one down. Time to enjoy the next 2 rounds. It's 4:42 a.m. already. Floyd, go away. Raise my cortisol another day. Nice. Well, time for the fun part. Oh, hold on. I shouldn't need to change the layout of my timer until I hit the maybe 200 hours. I don't know though. 10 more rounds? I know. I'm kind of late. Hi! Alright. I'm ready to play again. Had to take a pee break. It was a swell pee break. You know what time it is? It's Balatro time. I'm playing Balatro. I got insta-kill rounds to go through. Best part of the game. Play a hand that contains 4 7 of clubs. What does that give me? 4 7 of clubs. I could do that. What's so special about 4? What is that reference? I got 2 of these back to back as well, which is the best part. Random enhanced face card. Oh wow, then we got Paradolia right off on it as well. We got a glass card from that. Let me hold on to this cryptid for a little bit here. Oh my gosh, this actually might be the best run I'll ever get in my life. Hold on. Please give me aura. Oh! No way, I got deja vu with this. Hold on, hold on. This actually could be really good. Alright, we're gonna put deja vu on the diamond. Here's the thing though, what if I don't get a... I need to play for like a bloodstone almost though, that's the thing. So I put it, oh my gosh. They're all considered face cards, so I don't really need to worry about that. And I already have a re-trigger all face cards, so I can really put this on anything and it'll count. The best idea in here is to put it on the King of Diamonds, convert that one to a heart. Okay. Okay. I need something to keep my score up though, that's the thing. Like, I'll be fine for this here, but... a base molt, that's good enough. Now, do I create two... I don't want to create 2 copies early on like that. I'm also okay if those cards break. It's fine. Oh my gosh, and I get a max. I want to see if I can do this real quick to make this a little easier on me. What if I get a Perkio, you know? What if I get a Perkio and I also get a, an Aura card and I get to my Molt I want on it? Alright. I don't really have a good one. I'm going diamond, so that's the best one. Oh, come on. I got nothing of value from that. There we are. That's what I need. A spade. Dude, all spades or debuff. This run's dead. I can't do anything about this. That was all they could do. Was hope for lucky 20s. That's super unfortunate. Nothing I can do here. look at that. Hold on. That could be a really good one. Baron. Joker. No shot. Can I have my... There's no way. Thank you. Oh, I had Hermit there. I'm so stupid. There's the Bloodstone. Okay. We're definitely going in on the parts this game. I need a polychrome, man. Not that. enhanced numbers needed. Ooh, wow. $12 though, no. I need to get oops all sixes so badly. It's worth seeing. Can you turn stone cards? Let me look that up real quick. Wow, that would be nice to have, but... So it does not. Interesting. I need to get my Intel 6s, man. That works too, though. Until all face cards are debuffed. Oh no, I need to make somehow enough money here. Oh. No fucking way, man. That's insane. That's crazy. That's crazy I didn't make enough from that. A misprint. Oh, well, I'm going with that one. Nope, already. We got Arrowhead. Really? Oh my gosh, there's no way, man. Can I have, like, one spade? Thank you.
it's a cryptid though. Take that. Wow. Hold on, I think that's round. Nope, is it not? Well, I was wrong. Wait, what happened to Cat in Chat? I remember Cat in Chat.
How do you differentiate yourself from 8 billion other people? Exclusivity. Whether it be an exclusive car or a collector's item, people have always sought a way to be special compared to others. The same can be said about exclusive information. It's a way to stand out compared to everyone else and maybe even profit greatly from it. That's exactly what Cat in Chat, otherwise known as Catliente, thought would happen with her. Because when an artist reached out to her claiming to have been mistreated by one of the most beloved VTubers in the space, she probably thought of views, subscribers, and a whole lot of money. What she got instead, though, was her worst nightmare, with the entire situation blowing up on her face while simultaneously reigniting a major drama from the past in which she tried to clickbait another VTuber's cancer. And when she tried to respond, she ended up doxing her by mistake. Bro, this is a disaster. So, to say that this situation is wild is an understatement, but it's also very confusing with a lot of information stretching back many months. So of course, as always, I figured that we have to talk about it and make it clear. So, let's do this. So, the drama tuber that ignited the
Yeah, bread's washed. Bread is washed. can't even get up Photo 1? This guy's washed.
Brett, isn't he always getting carried by his team?
Big noob can't play version 73. Pathetic.
Brett? Yeah, that guy fell off.
1 year of grinding for a world record. Looking to reach a new height, but every run was just down to RNG. However, with the newest update, version 73, we were given an outlet. Little did we know we were playing the most difficult version we have ever seen. Knowing that every single day, it comes down to one jump.
That's insane.
Or one decision. Placement, dude. And a bit of luck. Yeah, like... What? What? What just happened?
The 3-hour.
Bruh. Let the hairbrush out of the freaking present, dude.
Taylor died of
Where's the loot at?
There's a slime.
Is there more loot anywhere?
I think there's loot outside somewhere where Taylor died.
Oh, like baboons. Okay. Any more? I don't see any. I'm looking for Taylor's stuff, I guess. Might have gone like this way. Like drop down here. Uh-oh. Oh my god!
Yeah, I think we got all the eggs. Yeah, we did. Are you...
Or... Damn. I'll get that B at main. Letting them get the B. Nothing there. There definitely could be something like in here. I need a key, I think. Then we're good. 2 keys preferably, but... Oh, here's a key. Oh, scroll. Bracken room, look out! I released the Bracken. No!
And don't forget apple too.
Brother, I see you. Damn. That guy got cooked. What's up, buddy?
Is that it?
That's it, dude. We're missing a B. Yeah, we got that back. You want to split weight?
No.
Really heavy, dude. Come on, please. I don't know if I'll make it with this old bird.
I don't have any more slots. I can't pick it up.
I can't either, actually. I have to drop it. I'm forced to.
Keep pulling. Okay, pulling.
Dang it. Fine.
I'm getting robbed.
Fizz, why'd you turn off the magnet?
Are you in server
I'm in locker.
or locker? Alright, I'll clear up to locker. I'm in server.
Are you upstairs?
Yeah. It might loop downstairs.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, Prime
Oh. I can maybe kill him if he goes towards me.
He's going towards you. He's going.
Coming toward you. What? I was jumped in the air. I was in the air. I was in the air. Fizzy was on a fucking landmine. What are we doing, dude? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Fizz on a landmine.
Yeah, do you see Fizz? Wait, why is Taylor not helping Fizz? Why is Taylor just looking?
He's not moving though. He thinks he's dead. Like,
But he gets you to check chat. What are we doing? What are we doing? Taylor, Taylor literally looked at Fizz on the landmine at main.
Really?
Yeah.
He knew he's on the landmine?
He knew he was on the landmine. He knew he was on the landmine. He looked at Fizz on the landmine, turned around, grabbed a present, and left main. No! No, Fizz you! Fizz you! No!
Bro,
No,
you moved your
Fizz
fucking
you.
nose while Taylor went to... Dude, I was waiting for someone to turn it off. I was there since like 8 a.m. I didn't know there was a man eater. Okay, he must have just set on a landmine.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
But there was a gift box next to my landmine. That's what I'm talking
Yeah, yeah. Taylor looked at you, turned around, grabbed the gift box, and left.
Did he not? Probably didn't see him.
But how? He was like 2 feet away.
Did you not see me, Taylor?
I saw you on the landmine.
Why didn't you turn it off?
Why didn't you turn it off?
I thought you should reflect on your actions.
Wait, this is important. Did you see him on monitor, or did you see him like inside as well?
I saw him inside, and then like...
Yeah, okay. What the fuck did I just watch? What clip did I just watch?
Yo!
Cypher, Cloud's trolls.
How about y'all get off our boat and go away?
Probably get a freaking straight punch in your face. You guys know an OG YouTuber by the name of Cloud's Trolls?
Long live Littletopia! Long live Littletopia! We're not role-playing pirates, so stop!
Tell me mommy, you mean the thicker mommy. If you guys...
Okay, done. Round should be over soon.
Hello, my name is Matt, also known as Alpine. I am an airport planner, and today I'm going to be roasting your Minecraft builds, specifically airports. If you'd like me to roast your Minecraft builds, go to alpine1.co and join the Spruce Tree for Minecraft Cities, where you'll be redirected to the Discord. Give yourself the Alpine notifications role, and then you'll unlock the Alpine Build Review channel, and make sure to follow the instructions. Today we have the Greenfield International Airport. If you don't know what Greenfield is, it is the largest city in Minecraft. Now, they were pretty confident that they didn't do anything wrong, but once again, I have some comments. Now, I will go through these comments individually, but Greenfield actually gave me a map download, so we're going to go into Minecraft here in just a minute. After we see all these really beautiful screenshots, we're going to explore and check out the interior of this as well. This is a really great plan where you can tell where the terminal is and all of the supporting facilities around it. They even made an airport diagram, which is pretty neat, but we got a couple comments on that too. First of all, the orientation of this is pretty uncommon, so it is at an angle. Normally it is north-south, but north can either be to the left, to the right, up or down. It just depends on the actual size and orientation of the airport. But having this on an angle, it's not super common. Now, there's a really big thing that sticks out to me is your runway numbers are actually incorrect. And how I know this is if I go down here, we can see that we have a large arrow, which is the true north, and this smaller arrow means magnetic north. So there is an angle in between. And I asked you where your airport was located, and you said fictionally it's between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And given that your airport diagram is from 2021, heading over to the historical magnetic declination viewer, and if we set the year to 2021 and zoom in between San Francisco and Los Angeles, we can see the magnetic declination of 14 degrees east here, and down here it is 12 degrees east. So if we assume it's right in the middle, 13 degrees east, given that the vast majority of runways in the world are based on magnetic heading instead of true heading, you do actually have to adjust your runways by 13 degrees. So down here you have stated that the angle relative to magnetic north, again you have this half arrow, is 90. We can go up here, I did a little math for you, 90 minus 13 is 77, therefore that rounds to 80. Therefore, instead of 9 left, your runway should be 8 left. And then same idea down here, instead of 9 right, it is 8 right. This one, instead of 3, it's supposed to be runway 1. 21 becomes 19, and over here, 27 right becomes 26 right, and 27 left becomes 26 left. So just like that, you have 6 numbers to change. But if I am being real, this is actually a really cool diagram. But the runway, if you have a solid, you need to stop. If you have a dashed, you can go through. The Canadian standard for this is TP312, and if you go to figure 5-12, this is what a hold short line looks like. Yes, I know they use Comic Sans, don't worry about it. But the issue with this hold short line is that every single part of the aircraft needs to be on this side. Nope, on this side. I knew that. Where's my runway? There it is. Okay, so every part of the aircraft, if you are holding short, needs to be on this side of this line. However, if we take it and extend it all the way down, all of a sudden, ooh, this line seems to be crossing it. So that's what this white line is. So this is the first one. Extend the line all the way down. Ah, you have a plane on the other side of that. Nope, I can't do that. Cannot park there. Now, my colleagues did have probably about 10 to 20 other recommendations that you could add to this airport, but I'm going to spare you because now it is time to go inside the airport, which, by the way, is actually where I specialize as an airport planner. Now, I do know a lot about the airside components, but I have an undergraduate degree in architectural engineering, so I'm pretty familiar with buildings. Something I noticed right off the bat is your rail line connecting your parking garages to the actual terminal itself. I really do like this, and I know this is common in LAX and San Francisco. And to help...
Okay, I'm done. I'm getting off. Bye.